Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great session here at the 8th Annual UAGC Early Childhood Conference. And I am super excited about this next session. It's Teachers Are the Original Influencers, and Monica Giudici is here to talk about that. I am just really excited about this one. I think you're going to like it. All right. So I want you to focus for just a second on this disclaimer screen. By taking a few moments to read through this disclaimer, you're going to empower yourself with important information regarding the boundaries of our knowledge sharing environment. Okay, and then on the next slide, we also have another disclaimer, and then together we're going to embark on some exciting topics in early childhood education. All right, but first of all, I'm going to give Monica the incredible introduction that she deserves. So, Monica Giudici has been a teacher and educator coach for the last 11 years, having taught in classroom from Barcelona to Berkeley. That's amazing. She has most recently joined Slide to Go, Free Pick as a marketing coordinator and is energized by the simplicity of new tools that help keep learning fun. And I will tell you, before we started this presentation, she's talking about all the cool things she's going to do, and I cannot wait to hear about them. I'm going to be glued to the screen. So I hope everyone enjoys it. Monica, the floor is yours.
Thank you very
And I'm
much.
excited.
Thank you. Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Monica, and I'm going to talk a little bit about communication design. This is a photo of me when I was a 7th grade teacher in San Francisco. I love kids. I miss kids. I'm so glad you've chosen this world. And let's get started. The title of the presentation is Teachers Are the Original Influencers. Inventive content creation is now for everyone. So I've introduced myself. Next, I'm going to just give a little bit of definition and context around what communication design is. Then, as a teacher, I think skill building is important. So I'm going to demo a few tools that I hope can help you either in your lesson planning, and you're thinking about working with children, or your classes themselves that you might want to incorporate. And then lastly, I'll talk about how we put those pieces all together. Okay, before we begin, I would love to thank the team at UAGC for the opportunity to connect with this learning community. I've had a really incredible experience with them, working tirelessly, and they are so intentional and detail-oriented to make this experience really wonderful for you all. So thank you. All right, so what is communication design and what does it have to do with teaching? I'm going to start with the Native American proverb. Tell me a fact and I'll learn. Tell me the truth and I'll believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. When we think about communicating not just ideas that we have, but also those emotions, we know that the stories is really what we hold dear and that help us learn better and deeper. And I want to take that into this idea of you being a teacher and being a storyteller and an influencer in the way that you communicate those ideas with the world. So this is a quote from a professor from Rutgers, Ockhouse, and he defines communication design as it's something that seeks to attract, inspire, and motivate people to respond to messages and to make a favorable impact. Maybe you've heard about communication design. There's like degrees you could get in it, but I'm just going to give you just like the bare minimum so that we can talk about the context within the learning community. So really want to think of not only do I have a message, but also the in which you communicate that message is incredibly important. That's that story piece that I was referring to in the proverb. Is how people remember that information. So we can use that through strategic thinking. Maybe we want to use creativity or problem solving. Those are all things that help us understand, okay, not only do I have this idea or this message or this knowledge, how do I communicate that out so that it can actually make an impact? But there's also skills and knowledge involved. So you could go into studying color theory. You could go into typography and visual hierarchies. These are all things that I considered when I was making my slides for my students and my lessons, is knowing how that the way I present the information, that they can understand it, internalize it, and use it was most important. If I just stand up there and talk, 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 then it's not probably going to speak to their heart and mind as much, and they're not going to be as visually engaged either. So if this sounds familiar to you too, it should, because teachers leverage communication design every day. Let me talk a little bit more about that. Because the goal of communication design is to promote a message, change behavior, or disseminate information, you're already experts. How do we do it? So the process of lesson planning involves making decisions about how to attract, inspire, and motivate students to learn new concepts and understandings of their world. So teachers make decisions about how to convey information, such as with visual aids and video, audio clips, performing arts such as role play, writing prompts, illustrations, and all of those things are created with the principles of communication design, whether or not you are cognizant of that. That's something that you're doing. So if this still sounds familiar, it should, because teachers are the original content creators. Let me tell you more what that means. Okay, so when I say content creator or influencer, you're probably thinking about social media. And if you look on your phone, I bet you have at least one social media account, right? And on that is an influencer who's selling something or trying to give a message out into the world. And so that's given us rise to this new world of the influencer. But if we think about teachers, we've been the original influencers because you are imparting all of those kinds of things with the students in front of you. So that line between the content creator and teacher has really become blurred. And we've seen now with the use of technology how that's really, really true, and how teachers have leveraged that to support student learning as well as engagement, and sometimes maybe even too much. So we're going to try to figure out what are tools that really can help us hone in on that so that students can learn better and deeper the content, and not just like mindless screen time, right? That we're talking about with tech. So how teachers used communication design to influence. The goal of making decisions about how to attract, inspire, and motivate students is to help them learn in the most effective ways possible. So now begins our skill building part. As teachers, we want to think about how we want to spend our time and our energy to learn some of the tools and skills so that we can add it to our toolbox and that we can give it out into the world and use it purposefully and intentionally in our lesson planning and in our instruction. So, I work for FreePick and SlidesGo. SlidesGo is like an arm of FreePick, and it's our education arm. So FreePick started as like a vector for images, and now we're in this AI world. SlidesGo is the education arm that we do a lot of teacher training videos and resources for teachers. I'm going to share where you can find a lot of that for free, so that if it feels like something that would be added to your toolkit, we invite you to use it so that you can not have to sit there and figure out, okay, what's the color I want to use in the typography? That's already built into a lot of it with the communication design. So we have images. We have this massive library of stock images. That's how we were kind of first born. So if you were a graphic designer in a past life, then you might know us through that. Then I'm also going to go into our lessons and our reproducibles that is geared towards early education, but all the way through 12th grade. And also older kids who might want to learn these skills themselves when they give presentations. And then also AI. So what's the role of AI? Oh my gosh, when I say that word, it probably brings up some feelings, some thoughts. I have feelings and thoughts when I think about AI, but I'm going to just show you just like little just elements of it so that you can decide, maybe you're already using AI or maybe you haven't started yet, but I'm going to give you some examples of how you might want to use it, conceptualizing it for your class. Okay, so let's start with lesson planning. I gear this toward pre-K educators, but obviously this can apply to anybody, especially anybody in the classroom. So first off, we have these incredible templates. And let me tell you the benefit of those. We have designers who spend all this time and effort and skill designing these templates that we can use, maybe just even within education, maybe you have a holiday or a topic coming up. Also grade specific, but also content specific. Like let's say you want some cool design to go with the science lesson you're preparing. And also a really big one is Disney and Inside Out 2, which came out in June. Disney is really popular with educators. So I want to just show you where those live. If you go to slidesgo.com, if you're the so here's the homepage, and then you're going to be probably like, I feel really overwhelmed, like, oh my God, there's just so much going on here. But I want to show you a way that you can kind of filter down to get more specific what you need. So I invite you to go up here to the top where it says create. And if you go to by industry, I'm going to go down here to education. When you click on that, now welcome to education world, but we can filter it even more because that means so many things, right? So if you go down here, it says filter by, and we have a pre-K spot. You can filter by subjects. And then you can scroll down, you can preview it by toggling here. And then if you find one you really like, just press download, and then you can select how you want to download it through Google Slides, PowerPoint, or Canva. So all of these are available for you. We have them in multiple languages. So let's say you are teaching in Spanish or in French. We have a lot of those available, or if you need to translate things into other languages for our English language learners, those are also possible. So that's where our templates live if you are giving slide presentations, either for your students or for like a conference like this or a department presentation or anything like that. That's where they live. They're free. And for you, if you register, then you can have up to 5 of the like crown ones. That means premium free a month. So you can download 5 of those for free every month. Okay, so now we've gone there. I'm going to go back to our ready to go reproducibles. So as a teacher, I was thinking constantly about sub days. Oh my gosh, what does it mean when you have a sub day and you have to make a lesson plan when you have woken up at 2 in the morning, like, cold and sweaty and like, oh my gosh, I have to teach tomorrow. I don't have a lesson plan ready. I want to invite you to some of our ready to go reproducibles that make it really easy, both with the design and the communication design, but also the content now. So slides class is where we have, I'm going to click on this. It's already done presentations. So I can go down to pre-K, and what you can see here are, let's say you want to do a presentation on interrupting. There's a full-on presentation filled out with information that you can walk through with your students step by step. I want to highlight this one because I thought this one was super cool. This is a reproducible. So that means you'd print it out and pass it out to your students. So we both have slide decks and slide presentations, but we also have like worksheets. So these are all standards based. And if you want to toggle through, I'm going to show you, these are the table of contents. You could pick and choose from here. You can also edit it if you wanted. You can add your name onto it, any images, any additional learnings that aren't captured in here. And I'll show you how to do that. So essentially, you could just take this. Let's say you wanted to do these number cards. You want to print it out. You have a sub day, or even just for your lesson to supplement any materials you have. There are so many things that exist on the web for you to support you and your students. So let's say that you want to start editing any of these because you want to pass them out to your class. These I want to do with my 4-year-old daughter. You can go down here to download this template, and then it will open up. I'll show you real quick. It will open up in slides, like wherever you save your things, whatever, kind of Google folder you have it saved in. Sorry, I keep moving this. And then here it's yours to edit. So you can edit and change anything. You could print all of them or nothing. So it's yours to have, and it's free. So I invite you to go into our Ready to Go Slides class education and see if there's anything there that might support you being more efficacious and support your students' learning as well. Okay. I feel like I've been talking fast. Let me take a breath as we go into AI. Okay. AI in education. There's so many things I could go into. I was listening to a podcast this morning on AI. There's so much that is changing in the world of AI. And wherever you are on the continuum, maybe you're using ChatGPT to help plan your dinner for tonight or plan that trip, or maybe you've gone really deep and you are using it regularly to help write lesson plans or do some more like intense thinking. I want to share with you some things that we have that might support you, that either in your lesson planning or your work with students. And I'm going to start with this thing called Picasso. So Picasso is, because we're a company built out of Malaga, Spain, and Picasso was born there. We spelled it with a K to switch it up. But I want to show you this really amazing tool. We have sketch to image, so you can draw and it's going to turn whatever you draw into AI modified. Text to image, so you put in a prompt, and I'm going to show you that one, and you can put it over there. You can make it into an image, as well as like retouching it, and I'm going to show you. It's just crazy. I love playing with it. And then after that, I'll show you the AI lesson plan generator. So how you can make actual lesson plans using AI. Okay, so let's do it. AI is not only for computer scientists. Tools for stoking creativity in young kids are also available. So AI sketch to image, envision and sketch any image in real time. Okay, I'm going to show you a video about what this might look like now. Okay, there may be things that are coming up for you right now as you watch that. You might be saying, wow, that's amazing. I want to do that. You might be feeling like, oh my gosh, the future is so crazy. Wherever you are on that continuum, I'm going to just show you some fun ways that you can play with it and that maybe you can incorporate into your lesson planning or maybe your time with your students. And I have a few ideas about how you might do that in a content specific area. Okay. Where am I going? Okay, so here we are. We're on freepik.com. So we're going to toggle between Freepik and Slidesgo. Now Freepik is kind of our image hub for AI as well, for AI images specifically. So I'm going to go to AI image generator. And so I was thinking a lot about the pre-K content standard of recognizing emotions. And that's what I'm going to generate for my lesson plan as an example. It's something that I've been working with my daughter a lot on, is like how people might feel, why you might feel that way, also different words for adjectives. So I just thought this would be a fun little way to demo a little bit of that using our text to image. And then I'm going to show you a way to make a Bitmoji of yourself, because teachers love Bitmojis, and maybe you want to make your own style Bitmoji. So we are an AI image generator. And then I should show you sketch image too, because it's so cool. Okay, so let's say I'm doing a lesson with my students around recognizing emotions, and I want to do it kind of fun and silly, but I want to do different prompts. So I'm going to type in a prompt. It's going to give me an image, and it's going to make my prompt better. So there's all this research around prompt writing, and our students are going to become so well versed in prompt writing because how specific you are really matters, right? But don't worry, you can literally write anything you want and it's going to give you a bunch of options. And these are all AI generated. Okay, so I'll stop talking and here we go. Let's think of the ways that I want to show happiness. And I want my students to kind of describe what they see. But I don't find anything on Google Images, or maybe it's locked and I have to pay for it. So I'm going to try to generate my own and see what comes up. Every time you do it, it's different. So I'm going to say happy dog in a rainbow with ice cream, because I mean, those things make me happy. You can choose to exclude anything, like I don't want dogs with brown hair or blonde, like white hair. You could change the style up. I'm going to do all styles. You have options here for color, for camera, lighting, and structure. I'm just going to go to the default and let's see what it generates. Okay. Now it's creating an original image based off my prompt, happy dog in a rainbow with ice cream. Oh my gosh. Okay, I did this like an hour ago and they're all ways different. Oh my gosh, look at these dogs. Oh my gosh, what? Okay, which of these looks like the happiest dogs? Okay, this looks like a really happy dog. So let's say I like this one, but I want more versions because oh my gosh, we're studying. I have a bulldog. I want to use that language with my students. I'm going to click more like this. And now it's going to give me a lot of versions of this bulldog. Some get really weird. And I want you to see over here that it's actually enhanced my prompt. So they changed what I said, which was a happy bulldog in a rainbow with ice cream, to a playful dog with short snout sits on a rainbow, eagerly licking a melting ice cream cone. The background showcases a sunset with shades of orange and pink blending into the sky. So basically, let's say this is the one that I wanted to share with my students. I can download the image. It's mine. I can do whatever I want with it. I can print it. I can put it on a slide. I can upscale it. I can change it up. There's a lot that you can play with there. You can just save it to your creation. So that's a prompt that you could do, and then it will literally give you endless options with that same idea. Oh my gosh, this one is also very cute. Okay, let's say you wanted to do, ooh, okay, here's a good one. Okay, so how about I want frightened is a word that we've been working on in class. So, and I want to do something really silly that, I don't know if I can find on the internet of a plane. Okay, frightened dog about to jump out of a plane, but actually let me do a cartoon this time and let's see what it comes up with. So a lot of this is about just testing it out. You could print all these and have your kids like write little short stories about why they're frightened. Okay, this is the other thing. Not all of these look frightened. So you need to still go in with an editing eye, right? Because this will give you a ton of options and the technology is getting better and better every single day. But you still need to kind of edit it for what you might want to use it for. So let's say I found one that looks most frightened and I feel, oh gosh, these bulldogs are so cute. They're everywhere. And now it's redone my prompt. And let's say I wanted to change my style. I can change that. I actually don't want, let's do an anime. No, let's do a sketch. And instead I want to do a sketch, I can change that out. So there's a lot of ways that you can play with this that you might want to incorporate for a lesson. So those are just two little fun ways that you can generate AI images based on text to image. And as I said, you can scroll endlessly and look at just so many bulldogs about to jump out of a plane. Okay, now I want to show you the sketch to image with the camera. Oh my gosh. Okay, and now that just stole my prompt here. Okay, so sketch to image. Oh, hi. Is basically the idea is I sketch anything over here and I put in a prompt here. So let's say I'm a woman swimming because I want to talk about my favorite things to do are swimming in the ocean, wearing a long sleeved swimsuit at sunrise, but surrounded by spiders because I have a fear of spiders. So here we go. Okay. Now I can shift the imagination and it will, oh my gosh. Oh, there's one spider. Where are my spiders? See, sometimes you got to play with it. Oh, she's scared of the spider. Okay. And then you can essentially do some sketching that maybe you want to change and put in some clouds over there. You want to put a shark in there. You can play with this and it will change over on the right side. But I also want to show you if you wanted to make a Bitmoji. And instead of just woman, I want to say Bitmoji, middle-aged woman, because that's me. Wearing a long sleeve. Oh, look, I look pretty happy. Okay. And is scared. Let's see. No. Oh, I'm worried. Okay, there. Look, do you see that as I move, it changes? Oh, there's a spider on my swimsuit. So essentially, what I could do is if I wanted any of these, I could take it, isolate it, and that could be my Bitmoji for all of my year. I could generate pictures of an entire classroom of students, right? Oh, there's me. This is all AI, and it's changing moment to moment if you use the camera. So if you change the imagination, it might go more realistic to less. And now if I go the whole way, sitting at desks, eating, what are they eating? Sandwiches. Okay, you could probably be a little more creative than me on this because you could not find these things online. But if you can notice, I'm like, as I'm standing here, it's like changing the image. There's another person in there. If I put my phone up, what does it do? Oh, she's feeding someone. Okay, so I wanted to showcase a little bit about what you could do with text to image and screen to image, and that you might want to use, download it, export it, and use it in your classroom. Okay, I've got to turn this off. This is a little bit wild. Okay, now, okay. So now that I've showed you a little bit about what exists in the AI world, with text and sketch to image, I want to go over now to something that's a little more practical for the teacher in the lesson plan generator. We have a lot of generators for AI. We have icebreaker generator if you're looking for questions for your students. We have exit ticket generator for formative assessments. We have a lesson plan generator, and we have a presentation generator. It will make a presentation based off any topic. All of them are really special and important for any part of your lesson, but I do want to, I'm going to give you a tutorial on the lesson plan generator. AI can come up with new ideas fast. Mix it up and surprise yourself and your students with an AI-generated lesson plan. So let's say that I, as a pre-K teacher, know that there's this California standard because I live in California. So you go to state standard and you say, I want a lesson plan for this standard. And there is a standard for social emotional development. And it says, seek to understand people's feelings and behavior, notice diversity in human characteristics, and are interested in how people are similar and different. Now, that's a large standard. And I know that in one day, I'm not going to cover all of those things, but I want to cover part of these standards and chunk it out. So what I want to do is consider either for myself, and this could be a way to inspire ideas. For me, maybe you got you've moved states or you've changed grade levels and you're not quite as well versed in those standards or those that age appropriate learning. Or like I said before, you have a substitute and you want to create a lesson plan for them. These are a few of the ways that you can use this. Okay, so let's go into the lesson plan generator and I'm going to show you how I would use it. Okay, so all of our kind of home pages look the same. They look very simple. You can do anything from input the whole standard to just the topic. So you could write, like, let's say you're teaching math and you want to show, addition. So you could just write that. But because I have access to the whole standard, I'm going to put that in here. And what I want to do is I just want to do the first part of the standard. So seek to understand people's feelings and behaviors. That's my lesson topic or the objective. Now I go to grade and I'm going to select pre-K, but you can also choose elementary, middle, high school, or even university. So select the one that's appropriate for you. And then classroom setting, because activities would look different if it's in remote learning, I'm going to do in person. And then we have all of these languages available and it's growing all the time. If you do auto, then it will go to English. So you can do either. That's all you need to put in. Okay. Let's press generate and see what happens. Okay, so here's my lesson plan. First at the top, you'll see that they give you 3 objectives. Students will be able to identify and recognize different emotions in themselves and others, demonstrate empathy and understanding toward their peers' feelings, and practice effective communication skills to express their own emotions. In one class period, you might not be covering all objectives, but these will touch on any of these objectives. So select the one that feels most relevant to and needs for your student in your class. Then it'll always tell you materials needed. And then it breaks down the lesson. So we have an introduction for 10 minutes. Begin the lesson by asking students what they think it means to seek to understand people's feelings and behaviors. Encourage them to share examples of times they notice someone feeling in a certain way. Explain that today they'll be learning more about emotions and how to be kind and understanding towards others. Then we'll go into emotion identification for 20 minutes. I'll summarize this. It says that you essentially show them different emotions and you have them describe a time that they felt that way. You can also use a puppet. If you don't want to use a real person, you could use our image prompts that we did on Free Pick. And then you have students draw a picture of a time they felt a certain emotion and share it with the class. Then we have an empathy activity. And in a lot of these cases, they'll give you an example of a book that you could read aloud. you don't have to choose this book, but it's giving you an example that maybe you could find in the library or on YouTube. Read a children's book that focuses on emotions and feelings, such as The Feelings Books by Todd Pear. After reading, discuss how the characters in the story were feeling and why. Encourage students to think about how they would feel if they were in the character's shoes. Next, divide students into pairs or small groups. Have them act out different scenarios where one person is feeling a strong emotion. The other student must try and guess what the person is feeling and demonstrate understanding and empathy. And then we have a 10-minute conclusion and reflection. And that's when you bring the class back and they share out what they learned. So this is one example under that standard that is a lesson plan that you could use. You have a few options here. You could either just copy the text that says here and you could put it on a slide, or if you press download lesson plan, it will turn into a PDF. One thing I want to name about AI, every time you do it, something different comes up. So if I do that exact same standard again, I want to just name that something different is going to come up. And that's because every time you generate it, it's pulling from different parts of the internet. So I'm putting the exact same prompt, and I want to show you that I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can tell already that this includes a feeling charades for 15 minutes and emotional drawing for 15 minutes. So it is different each time. If you feel like you generate the lesson plan and it's okay, but you want to see a different one, I recommend just redoing the prompt and generating it again so that you can have different options. Obviously, at the center of all of this, you know yourself better than anybody. You know your students better than anybody. So you're going to use your editor eye in order to determine to what extent these tools would be right for you and your students and what parts of this activity might work or won't. Because AI is pulling from the entire internet, you are the one that can make that final decision and you can make the best decision. But what it does is it gives you that jump off point and gives you that basis and foundation for you to then edit and do the real hard work, which is the teaching. The teaching is the hard work. So this is just another tool for you to help explore the ways in which AI might support you in your lesson planning and your delivery. Okay. All right, so now let me go back. So that was our lesson plan generator. And it's been really fun to play with, and we're improving it all the time. So one thing I do want to say about all of this is that things are changing constantly, whether we like it or not. Change is the only constant. So continue to look back on it and build your own level of literacy for yourself so that you can understand it better, so that you can use it in a way that makes sense for you and your students. Okay. So tried and true, new isn't always better. Your current tools are your current favorite tools are evolving. Your favorite tools are evolving. The word is out about the importance of communication design across disciplines. Lesson planning is content creation, and it turns out that tools for content creation are also great for lesson planning, and your current favorites are evolving to meet your needs. The tools you know and love are integrating with one another. So I bring this up because okay, if you're like me, you have a lot of tabs open. Let's be honest. I just have a lot of things that I want to access. That isn't the most efficient use of my time, but it's, something that is a part of me. But if you want to integrate more, to put the pieces of the puzzle together, that doesn't mean doing too much and all of the things. It means being a little bit more selective for what goes in your toolkit. This is a great way in order to integrate it so that you're not just, having to open up all the tabs and have to work a lot more. It's a way that you can save time and energy. So that means it's getting easier to use the following: Google Slides and PowerPoint with the tools that we have so that you can present this information to students. Google Classroom, if you use that platform to communicate to students and parents, it automatically can go over to Google Classroom and you can post them onto Google Classroom directly. If you've used Pear Deck, that's another option, as well as a wonderful design tool that is a competitor of ours, but we love them so much, it's Canva. So with Slides Go, continue using PowerPoint and Google Slides. Bringing your presentations to life doesn't mean learning all new tools. Tens of thousands of bright, beautiful templates are available for Google Slides and PowerPoint users. With Slides Go, continue using Google Classroom. Sharing your presentations with your students and their parents doesn't require more than a few clicks. This I found really helpful when if a student was sick and I need to share information with them, I could put it up into their Google Classroom and their parents could see it. And it was a way to continue that kind of home class communication using all of this technology. And lastly, with slides go, trust the pros to boost interactivity. Pear Deck has been a teacher favorite for years for a reason. We have an add-on so that you can have Pear Deck integrated right into your slides. So you can edit any of our templates and add Pear Deck right away, present it to your students if they're using Pear Deck yet. Okay. What to take away with communication design? I have 3 takeaways before I end this presentation. The first one is invest now in your future self. We are confronted constantly about how we use our time, and time is the greatest resource we have. So I want to invite you, as you are exploring all the tools and new learnings, to consider what it is that you want to invest now in, what you want to practice, so that your future self can easily access that. What that means is, if you become really, 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 once you're a novice at this, it might take a little bit more time, but as you get better with practice, obviously it'll be easier. And then you could be a little bit more discerning about when and how you use it. So if you are able to invest now, whatever now means, but think about what the time now can then be a long-term goal for you later in life. AI is here to stay. All this tech is here to stay. So I invite you to consider how you might use these in a way that supports student learning and support you as the educator. Start small. Every time I think about all the things I want to accomplish, sometimes I get overwhelmed of all the tools I want to learn and I want to download and I'm going to listen to this podcast or I'm going to take that webinar and all these things. And that's really beautiful because learning is power. I also want to invite you to consider one takeaway, one thing you might want to try. Start small and then decide how you want to build up to that. And however you want to frame that is your choice. But I start always thinking about what is going to make the biggest bang for my buck so that my students can learn best and I can increase rigor for my students. And lastly, that leads to have fun. All these tools are built so that we can both learn and grow and make more time to do other things. Like AI should make our lives a little bit easier in some ways. And we've still a lot to learn, but I invite you to just have fun with the process, continue learning and exploring and say, yeah, I'm going to try that today, but maybe I'm going to try this other thing later, or I'm going to go home and play around with it and see where it takes me and not have expectations about that finished product. So have fun because learning is fun. And when our kids see us having fun and while learning, that encourages them to do their best as well. Here are my citations and who I referenced in this presentation. And if you have any questions, please feel free to look for me. This is my email, mgiudici@freepik.com. And if you want to join our Slides Go Educator community, it's a space that I moderate, and I would love to have as many wonderful, dedicated, beautiful, special educators join our space to make our space just so much better for a global audience. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for having me.
That was amazing, everyone. I hope you'll choose another session and I'll talk to you soon.